Hi, this is Michael. Today I'm going to show you how I disassemble a short block Volkswagen air-cooled engine. I'm going to start with a flywheel and then just disassemble the whole thing. I'm getting it ready to go to the machine shop. It needs to be line board so I can rebuild it later on. Hopefully you learn something and get some confidence in rebuilding engines. I know when I did my first one it was kind of a nervousness, but once you do a couple then it's fairly relatively easy, and I know you can do it. Alright, thanks for watching.
Okay, the first thing to do is loosen up the gland nut, and I do have a video of that already. So if you want to go take a peek at that before you start taking off your flywheel, that'd be great. Um, this is my bench stand, engine stand mount. So I'm putting it on the engine so I could put it up on my engine stand so I could have some more, I guess, better access for taking apart the engine. And I put it on my stand that has 3 legs. Um, so the big bolts are, or big nuts, are 17 millimeter, and then the 13 millimeters. So the first thing we're doing here is removing the sump area, the sump screen, and the cover. Those are 10 millimeter acorn nuts, and the history on this engine, I rebuilt it, and come to find out it had a little bit of play in it, side to side, and so I need to take it back apart, take it to the machine shop, and get it redone. So anyway, after the sump pump, I'm taking off the oil pump bolts or nuts. There's 4 of them, 13 millimeter. Once I take those off, the cover comes off pretty good. Then I usually take either by fingers or needle nose pliers, pull out the gears, and then that little tool I showed you, that's a oil pump puller. I really haven't had a lot of success with pulling it. Sometimes I have 3 or 4 that have bent pieces on it. So essentially you have to get in that hole that I'm showing you now and pull the oil pump out of the case there. And so what I do is I go one side at a time. So it looks like I'm going to the left side here. As you tighten the nut there, then the pump pulls closer to us, as you can see. Sometimes it's pretty tight, sometimes it's a little bit loose, so you can pull it out when it's almost time, and there you go. And then now we're going to be cracking open the case here pretty soon, so we have to take out the nuts here. There are 3, I guess, bolts, you could say, with 13 millimeter head and then a nut on one side, in which those get torqued later on when you install the engine cases together. And then I just have, a little yogurt container I put all my stuff in. Any container should work for you. Once you get all the nuts off, I usually use a magnet to remove the washers, and then with the big 17 millimeters, 6 of them there, I have to use a little screwdriver because I usually have Permatex on those bolts there. And then there's this nifty tool. It's an engine separator tool, and it's a 14 millimeter that I just tighten until the cases start coming out loose like that. And usually the flywheel side is a little trickier to get down or get apart. Just be careful of the case. You don't want to scratch the surfaces that the 2 sides meet. And then there you go. There's a crankshaft, camshaft, and all the internal components. Taking off the crank first, then the cam, and then take off the bearings, main bearings, cam bearings, and then make sure you have a container available when you take out the dowels. There's 5 dowels, and I usually take them out with a magnet. There's 4 on this side, and then one on the other side, and keep those handy. And then I take out the distributor drive shaft and then the lifters. And there you go. And then what I have to do is I have to put together 2 cases, torque them down, and take them to my machine shop, and they do all the line boring. Don't forget to take out those dowels, because if you line bore, you'll mess up your line bore. All right.
Thanks for joining me today. As you can see, it's relatively simple to take apart the engine. Just regular hand tools will do the trick. I think it took me about an hour to disassemble this short block. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope your build goes well. Thank you. Have a great day.